every single Republican member of the House Judiciary Committee just signed this letter to Jeff Sessions. The easiest way to spot a whiny liberal is this. He'll demand special privileges and then complain when those privileges are granted to everyone. He'll want a safe space, but if you demand a safe space from his angry rants, he'll claim you're restricting his freedom of speech. He'll want freedom of conscience. But if you demand the same for yourself in Christianity, he'll throw a fit. So it's fitting, I suppose, that Democrats are now throwing a fit after Republicans use their same underhanded tactics against them, because Republicans, like Democrats, are now calling for a special prosecutor to investigate the 2016 elections. Except this time they're investigating Clinton, Comey, and Lynch. Republicans of the House Judiciary Committee drafted a letter to Attorney General Jeff Sessions and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein Thursday, asking them to appoint a special counsel to investigate the 2016 election. Unlike the current special counsel assigned to investigate matters surrounding the election, Robert Mueller, the letter calls for an investigation into the, quote, actions taken by previously public figures like Attorney General Loretta Lynch, FBI Director James Comey, and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Two things are worth noting here. One, every single Republican member of the House Judiciary Committee signed this letter to Jeff Sessions. That's something that will seem way more impressive after the second thing that's worth noting. Two of the elements of the 2016 election that the committee once looked at. Very specific and very detailed and numerous, 14 in all, in fact, that many not seem like quite the bombshell that I suggested, but it is, because detailed, quote, means researched, quote, and most often legally able to prosecute. So let me rephrase. The House Judiciary Committee just sent a letter to Jeff Sessions with no less than 14 different possible legally prosecutable offenses, all of them committed by Clinton, Comey, and Lynch. And even if a few don't pan out, we have 14. Anyone want to doubt that none of the 14 will lead to a conviction? This is, no matter what the odds, an airtight case. It's no wonder everyone signed. And it's no wonder the Republicans want another and independent prosecutor. Let's take a quick listen here.
Counsel to investigate possible Democratic wrongdoing during the election. Nearly 24 members of the House Judiciary Committee signed a letter to the Justice Department urging it to examine possible collusion between Hillary Clinton and the Obama administration in the email probe, as well as intelligence unmasking and links between Democrats and foreign actors in Ukraine and Russia. For more on the possibility of a new Clinton investigation and the ongoing Russia probe, we're joined by Fox News anchor and former defense attorney Greg Jarrett. Great to see you, Greg. So this is really interesting. I mean, so a band of Republican congressmen have really gotten together to push this issue of a second special counsel to reopen this investigation.
Yeah, and my question is, what took them so long? I mean, honestly, I've written more than a dozen columns beginning a year ago identifying all of the things that are cited in this 5-page letter signed by 14 congressmen on the House Judiciary Committee.
Well, the election, explain why you don't think that should have been a distraction.
Well, the election should have underscored the need for a special counsel because Hillary Clinton was the Democratic nominee. And the evidence was laid out against her very nicely by James Comey when he held his infamous news conference a year ago this month, in which he laid out a compelling case for how she violated the Espionage Act. But then at the very end, he completely misinterpreted the law, saying that she didn't intend to violate the law. That's not the legal standard.
And no Attorney General called Comey out on that.
Yeah, and why? I mean, look, previous Attorney Generals could have done so. Michael McCasey absolutely did so. But you had a Democratic administration with Loretta Lynch in the chair. And interestingly, this committee is now saying, we want you not only to investigate Hillary Clinton for the email case, and the statute of limitation hasn't run, but pay to play, and there's some evidence of that, and we want you to investigate those two people that you see on the screen to the right, Loretta Lynch, for whether or not she unduly influenced the investigation, and James Comey for whether, he was engaged in politics. And both arguably could be potential crimes. What took James Comey so long to reveal the fact that Loretta Lynch asked him to lie about the nature of the investigation? He just revealed it recently in his congressional testimony. Why did he conceal that information? That's one of the reasons why these members of Congress want a new special prosecutor devoted to just that.
And what's also interesting about the need for a second special investigation here is some of your writing. You point out that we should really take a second or a closer look into the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah.
And how she used her office, right, to obviously enrich herself and her husband.
Right. It's a crime to use your public office to confer a benefit to a foreign government in exchange for money. Did she do that? We don't know.
Oh, come on, they don't know.
That suggests it. Her emails demonstrate that donors gain special access. I'll give you just one example. She helped UBS avoid the IRS, and after that, a tenfold increase from the bank to her foundation, and her husband got paid $1.5 million. Is that pay to play? We need to know. There should be a special counsel.
So as we wrap up here, Greg, what's the next step? The request has been put forth, and now what needs to happen?
Well, several things could happen. Congress could act on its own by simply reenacting overnight the independent counsel statute, which had expired. It still exists on paper. All you have to do is vote it. Absent that, the Attorney General could appoint a new special counsel, so not Robert Mueller, but somebody else, to look into this. So there are a couple of different avenues. Or the Senate Judiciary Committee, which is already examining Loretta Lynch, could expand its probe into Comey himself as well as Hillary Clinton. And the FBI has mountains of evidence in their files over the course of a year's investigation that could be mined.
Interesting. We haven't heard much from Comey in recent weeks.
I think he's writing his book. He is, as they say in Washington, cashing in.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Follow this one for sure. Up next.
Yeah, they're all cashing in, and we're waiting around for something to happen. I mean, it's disturbing. What do you mean, if? We all know what Hillary did. I mean, she should have been behind bars a long time ago. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.